Dear fellow graduates, members of the board, administrators, teachers, family, and friends. My name is Perrin, and I'm your valedictorian. Apparently, it's an honor and a privilege. It's a distinction I feel I don't really deserve. See, a valedictorian should be clever, fantastic with words, and most importantly, a valedictorian should be able to deliver a memorable speech in a timely manner. Unfortunately, none of those thoughts occurred to me until after I accepted, because I was too busy trying to figure out how to spell valedictorian. Now you're stuck with me, and I'm stuck trying to figure out something meaningful, inspirational, emotional, and witty to say in order to keep you awake and your mother's emotional without resorting to long run-on sentences and self-referential humor that would reduce Mrs. Hodiyama to tears and my grade in English to F. My father once attended a commencement, and the speaker began by saying, "I have a number of important things to say, and you will remember none of them." The speaker was wrong. My father did remember one thing, that quote. Unfortunately, he didn't remember anything else. I've never enjoyed writing speeches and rarely take the task seriously, but with luck you may retain more than a few bits of wisdom that I include in the speech. To make them easier to remember, and for me to write, I decided to make my speech really short, as you can see. Unfortunately, I discovered I had a lot to say, so I had to make it very wide. So, don't worry, I'll try to get through it as fast as I can, and in the meantime, please pretend to pay attention, refrain from booing, and maybe cheer if you like what you hear. Fellow graduates, we've all shared some common experiences in our home learning journeys, despite never knowing each other. For example, I'm sure you've all experienced the joys of sleeping in on a school day, then lounging in your pajamas all day. You've probably all discovered that your bed is far superior than any desk, and that lunch break is a wonderfully flexible period of time. Also being told it's awesome not having to put on makeup in the morning. I completely agree. It's wonderful. Although as a guy, I get to experience that blessing no matter where I'm educated. Of course, there's some annoying things about being homeschooled too. For example, those two questions. What school do you go to? Followed by, you're homeschooled, but you're social. Also, the urge to procrastinate and fascinate at stuff on the internet is captivating. It can cause some exaggeration without validation of your progress out of fear of assassination by decapitation or strangulation by your parents when their recalculation of your timetable suggests no graduation. However, despite the distractions we faced, we've made it here to our graduation, an amazing achievement, 12 plus years in the making. Graduation reminds me of an experience I had when I was younger. I saw a baseball floating in the sky, getting bigger and bigger. I didn't realize why it was doing that. Then it hit me. I don't know about the rest of you, but only in the last few weeks has it really hit me that I'm actually graduating. It's simultaneously scary and awesome, intimidating yet invigorating. Consider that Steve Jobs and Bill Gates both dropped out of college, more interested in learning about the real world rather than in a classroom. I like to think homeschoolers are similar. We attempt to discover how stuff works in the real world rather than theoretically on paper in a classroom. We have the time during the day to study things that intrigue us or work at jobs that interest us, and the only bullying we face is abuse from our siblings. As a result, we can pursue our dreams while still in high school, an advantage not many people can boast of. This combination of personal instruction and freedom opens up many paths to us. We can do anything we want to do. Of course, the number of options open or available to us can be a little overwhelming. We may face tough decisions in life. Mother Teresa once counseled, "If you can't feed 100 mouths, then feed just one." As new graduates, our enthusiasm may lead us to take on many things. You must do something to go work hard at it, but don't take on too much at once or you'll find yourself being bogged down. But more importantly, remember, don't wait for something to find you. As easy as it is to say, "Oh, I'll stop procrastinating tomorrow," the longer you wait to do something, the harder it becomes. Your willpower is like a muscle. Although overworking it can hurt, and it needs to rest occasionally, the longer you rest, the weaker it becomes, like me. God created each of you with specific talents and gifts. He has a plan for you, which involves both your strengths and your weaknesses. However, he can't work for you if you mope in your parents' bedroom, determining the meaning of life, or playing Call of Duty. Play, listen, discern, and then get out and do it. When I say get out and do it, it's because I still have no idea where I'm going in life or what I'm going to do. I too need encouragement to go do something. Proverbs 16:3 offers some advice that we need reminding of. In it, David tells us, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed." You might not achieve what you set out to do, but sometimes the journey is more important than the destination. You have many gifts. Now is when we can take advantage of them. On that note, I challenge you, fellow graduates, to remember Paul's words in 1 Timothy 4:12, when he says, "Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example to believers in speech, in love, in life, in faith, and in purity." If you remember nothing else, remember that even in our youth, God calls us to be an example in what we do. On behalf of the graduates here with me today, there are many people to thank for helping us reach this point. I've been explicitly instructed not to include the phrase, "I would like to thank," because if I want to thank someone, then I should actually do it, not wish that I could do it. So, thank you, Mrs. Croswell, for organizing events, answering questions, and most importantly, for inspiring and condoning the massive silly string ambush during our group photo at the retreat. A big thank you to all the educators and mentors in our lives is warranted, and we are grateful for all the support that enabled us to survive and thrive in high school. Oh, I would like to thank Mr. Willie, but he's not here. I heard he went to some other event. Come on, what could be possibly more important than sitting here listening to me talk for 12 or more minutes? As a result, I won't thank him for running the Outdoors Club, for being an awesome teacher, and for answering all our many questions. Joking aside, though, I wish him all the best on his wedding day, and I admire his foresight in keeping Kiana and myself away from him and his bride. I suspect it's because, incorrectly, he feels his bride would look better silly string free. Also, thank you, God, for creating us and for giving us such gifts as education and home, and for creating Larry Page and Sergi Brin. These two men have helped answer thousands of our questions and allowed us to discover new things every day. Without them, I doubt neither our parents nor ourselves would be capable of understanding all the material we covered in high school. I'm also extremely grateful to all the proofreaders who made this speech possible. Alexandra Bay, Denise Croswell, Emily Lidman, Zach Power, a couple other people I don't care about, and most importantly, my parents. Now is the part of the speech I'd like all the parents to close their eyes and relax as much as possible without falling asleep. Take a couple deep breaths. Trust that your kids won't disturb you for once in your life. I'd like you all to remember your newborn baby, smiling as someone lays her down to rest. Remember your toddler, giggling as he tentatively takes his first few steps, albeit with some help. Remember your child learning to ride a bike and shrieking with joy as he races down the street. Recall your daughter enthralled as someone reads a story aloud to her, except more interesting than the speech. Remember your pride as she hesitantly reads that story back to you. I think I can speak for all the grads when I can say someone very special was always there for me. Our parents were there to put us to bed when we didn't have the strength. Our parents were there to support us when we learned to walk. Our parents taught us to read, support our hobbies, and helped us learn almost everything we know. They are our true teachers, and to them we owe us the biggest thank you of them all. Thank you for directing us to Christ as our answer. Thank you for being our role models, our chefs, our chauffeurs, and most of all, thank you for being our teachers. Schooling at home is a huge parent sacrifice, and we are grateful for our parents for giving up their time, their money, and their sanity to school us at home. Grads, at this time I encourage you to consider your accomplishments to date. With help or without, you did it. You studied, you learned, you worked hard to get to this very place. You are responsible for your accomplishments this past year. You. Congratulations to all you who received scholarships and good grades. I pray that all that you gleaned in your life's journey thus far will take you into another journey that leads to more successes. You are stellar examples of why homeschooling is awesome. As for the people who hate learning, well, I hear there's an opening as mayor of Toronto. I'd like to end, finally, with a quote from Mark Twain or Samuel Clemens, I'm not sure who. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than the things that you did. So throw off the bylines, sail away from safe harbor, catch trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover.